Frank, Sam now is the backup, I assume?
Yes.
What went into that decision?
Really like both guys. We've said it all along. Felt like Sam's healthy, continue to learn the offense. And there's other considerations as well, but we feel like it's the right move right now. But certainly feel great about both guys. Happy to get Brett back in and building as well.
Frank, after a game like Sunday, it was pretty obvious how much that one stung you personally, Carson, etc. How do you process the game after that? Do you go home? Do you watch the tape right away? How does Sunday play out?
Yeah, came into the office right away after the game.
Come back over here?
Yeah, just come right over here, watch the tape, especially because of Thursday night. If it wasn't Thursday night, probably not. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But Thursday night game, got to come in here, get through it and move on to the next one, learn. Like I used to use this term, kind of drag yourself through the mud, Like some people don't like to drag themselves through the mud. There's probably a point where it's not healthy to drag yourself through the mud. But my experience is that if you don't drag yourself through the mud, you don't get the full benefit of the experience of how I can get better, how we can get better as a team, and it means a lot to you. So I sometimes kid with the coaches, hey, no wait, I got about another hour of dragging myself through the mud, and then I'll snap out of it, and then we'll move, and then we'll all move forward.
Do you feel better on the drive home from here or the drive out to the stadium? Is it like, are you in a better spot?
Yeah, I mean, it usually takes about 24 hours, I think, for me to kind of, move on after a tough loss. So I can feel that with the guys, too. It was like yesterday in here, we had a good practice, good focus, good walkthrough. But then you just feel a little bit different of an energy level. I just think it's a natural, it's I don't even know what the old quote is, right? But when you pour that much into something, and when it means that much to you, and it does every week. Obviously, this was a particularly big game. But, I hope you feel like that.
Frank, you said you guys elevated Brett Hundley because of his experience. What is it about Sam that convinces you that he can overcome his lack of experience to be in that backup role?
I think Sam has some of the same qualities that Brett has. He has a natural poise to him like Brett does. I think he's got natural leadership, qualities to him that Brett does. As well. That I think those are real high strengths of both of those guys. They're both athletic and can move and so on and so forth. And Sam's played a lot of football. Not at this level, but he's played a lot of winning football, and he's a young guy who we drafted, who we want to continue to develop. So, and then, like I said, there's a few other considerations in everything as well, but I think he's healthy. We're halfway through the year, so the offense a little bit better, so on and so forth. So it feels like the right move at the time. But it's still always a week-to-week consideration.
With the man a short week, and you've got the Jets with Frank Reich, does it really stress the defensive coaches to sort of get a handle on this guy?
No doubt. I mean, you do the research, you watch this game and this last game particularly hard, right? I mean, the guy had an unbelievable game. But what I know about Flus and what I know about our defense is, we're going to wire in on what they do, but it's like 75 or 80% what we do and how we play. Let's build off the defensive performance that we had last week, which was so good, and continue to find ways to get better against a team, right, that's going to come in here, a team that's been playing very good on defense. Now all of a sudden they have a great offensive. They have some momentum offensively, a little bit of mojo offensively. So we know this will be a good challenge for us.
Frank, any chance Rodrigo is back this week, or will Badgley still kick?
Badgley will still kick this week.
When Hot Rod is healthy, is he still your kicker?
We haven't even talked about that yet.
What do you see from Odengbo, and with Lewis out, does his role now get increased?
I would think the natural progression, for him will be to play a little bit more every game. I don't think we'll take him, from 40 miles an hour till 80 miles an hour. I think we'll kind of, slowly bump it up and play himself into shape and technique and fundamentals and system-wise. But if I feel like he's ready for that.
One other thing on Blankenship is it's sore covered. Did he happen to have surgery in the hip?
No.
Every time John Taylor's up here in front of us, he's very team-oriented, sees the big picture. How much does that maturity play into his success?
I think he plays a lot into his success. I mean, he's, even we're out there in the walkthrough today, and we're rotating offensive linemen in and out like we always do. And Jonathan, I overhear Jonathan make a comment like, man, this is so, it's like he's seeing the guys that we're rolling in, and he still feels that confidence, like we got second-team guys and quote-unquote second-team guys in there who have played first-team football for us, for lack of a better way of saying it. And it was kind of just fun. It was just kind of a fun moment for me to hear him say that. And he didn't know I heard it, but it was just kind of a fun moment. Like, wow, that's the way you want your running back to feel. Like, we got 7, 8 guys up front that he feels like are going to pave the way for him. So we need to continue to keep building off of that.
With Taylor, again, it's always week to week, and you should use him more or whatever. But this is how you've used him since he's been here. I mean, he's averaged 15, 16 carries a game. So when you look at it, do you just feel like this is how he needs to be used?
Yeah, I mean, no, believe me, there's games where I want him, that I hope that he gets 30, 35 touches. I mean, I hope.
That's on you.
Yeah. Well, it's on us. It's on us getting a lead late in the game, and you're in 4-minute offense, and like we've ended some games where we got a 6-minute drive. So when you're in these back and forth games, I just feel like I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And like even last week with whatever he had the 16 carries. And like I've mentioned, you guys, he had 6 others that were called to him that don't go to him. He had 3 touches in the pass game, and then he had 2 other runs. So that's close to 25 touches right there, which is a decent day's work. But believe me, I want to get him the ball more. And this is how we use him. And I hope, when we get in 4-minute offense, I hope we can build those carries up where he's got, at the end of the year, he's got a handful of games where he's got 30 carries. But probably, over the course of the year, he's probably averaging 20 to 25.
To get trade deadline, I mean, obviously, normally nothing tends to happen, but do you anticipate Marlon Mack being here?
I mean, Chris is handling that. I mean, so I don't have any. I mean, I'm just assuming. I haven't had any conversation with Chris today, so I'm assuming that if something was going to happen, it would have happened. I hope we have Marlon here because he's a great teammate and he's a great player.
The other considerations, is that roster number stuff and just bringing Deion Jackson up? Is that a special teams thing? Because it doesn't feel like there's carries available right now.
True. It is a special teams thing. And as you just pointed out, Joel, really all these moves that we make, they all have roster considerations and factors like that and what we're trying to piece together. And, we spend a lot of time on that every week. You can allow so many moves-ups from the practice squad and, all the moving pieces. So, Chris and I talk ad nauseum about all this stuff with the coordinators. Chris and I meet on it. We meet on it with the scouts. We meet on it with the coordinators, the coaches. What's the best thing right now? What's the best thing in the long term? So those are all talked about every week.
Early in the week, go ahead.
In your history with Thursday night games, any quirkiness, anything you have seen over the years that seem to be consistent?
I mean, I just remember back when I was here the first time the first time working with the Colts as an assistant. A lot of times offensively, sometimes you have some of your better showings because you don't try to do too much. You try to simplify it. They used to say that about Peyton all the time. And I think we've had some decent Thursday night showings here, but every case is its own. I mean, you definitely have to keep it simple in all 3 phases and build off of. I'm glad our Thursday night game is this far into the season because we have a lot of accumulated reps on things that we've had in other games that we can fall back on in such a short, quick turnaround.
Frank, this is not related, but have you watched any of the Monday night games where Peyton and Eli call the game?
I've watched about a total of about 30 minutes, and wishing I could watch more because the combined 30 minutes that I've watched have been incredibly entertaining. So yeah, but unfortunately, I don't get the time to watch it.
Monday night game against the Ravens, maybe a good thing.
Yeah, I was kind of glad that worked out like that. I didn't want him telling any bad stories about me.
Rick, you mentioned that T.Y.'s out. Willis, is he out for the game?
It's looking like Willis is going to be out, yeah.